Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. In this video we are going to be looking at how attackers take advantage of the most common port on the internet, and that is port 80. We are going to be doing this in a step-by-step way so that everyone and anyone can follow and still understand. So if you are still a beginner or you are already in the game and just want to brush up your skills, you are going to be getting some insights on how port 80 has become such a juicy target for hackers on the internet. Before we begin, I'm going to put up a disclaimer here. This video is for educational purposes only. Do not misuse it. Do not misuse what you learn from this video. Do not abuse it. Use it only for the good of the internet. That said, roll up your sleeves, guys, and let's get started. Welcome back. We now are going to head straight to my terminal, and what normally you need to do when you log on to or when you connect to a network is to check the IP address that has been given to you. You know, IP addresses are dynamic, which means they are given to you by the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, the DHCP. I'm going to check my IP address on ETH0, and you can see that it is 192.168.1.7 and 129. The network range is 192.168.1.7, and the host part of the IP address is 129. With this in mind, I'm going to run an Nmap scan to discover every host that is up in the network. So to do that, I will run a simple Nmap scan, Nmap SN for a ping sweep, and that will be done across the entire network. I hit enter, and that should be real quick because I'm running it on my local area network, and you can see my default gateway IP address right here. This is my Kali Linux IP address down here, and the one we are looking for is right here, the Metasploit table IP address 192.168.1.7.128. You might be wondering how I know that this is the one I'm looking for. Well, it is my network. I set it up, and if you wanted to find out the operating systems running these machines are running on, you can just do an nmap-or for an operating system scan, right? For that will give you some fingerprinting or banner grabbing information about the operating system that these machines are running on. Now I'm just going to clear my terminal. I want to now find out if port 80 is opened, and if it is opened, I want to find out the HTTP version that is running on that port, and with that we can now try to figure out what vulnerabilities are linked with that particular service and how we can take advantage of that. So I'll run an Nmap service version scan. That will be Nmap SV, and I'll run it on this IP address, but I'm going to be targeting port 80. Hit enter, and we wait a bit for the scan to complete. When the scan completes, we want to see if that port is open, and right here the port is opened, running over TCP. The service is HTTP. It is running on Apache HTTPD 2.2.8, and that is all we have right now. So how do we get other information about this particular version of HTTP running here? What you need to do now is just clear your screen and head straight to the MSF console. I have that running already because I wanted to save time. I'm going to clear it as well, and what I will do now is search for an auxiliary scanner that will help me determine the HTTP version that is running on that service. So this is the scanner. We're going to use 0 since the index number right here is 0. Use 0 computers start counting from 0. Let's look at the options that we have. Show options, and all we need to do is set the rhost, because that's the only thing that is pending and is required, because you can see there's a space for proxies, but it is not required. The vhost as well is not required. So I'm going to set rhost to 192.168.17128, which is our target IP address. Let's run that. You can see other information that we have. Actually, that was run to determine we already have the HTTP info. The HTTP version that was run in order to determine more there is to that Apache server. You can see that it is powered by PHP 5.2.4. You could pick this up, copy it, search on Google to try to find out what vulnerabilities have ever been linked to it. What we are going to do now is we can head straight to that server. We can try to visit that server on the internet to find out if there is any information we can gather from it. So I have launched Firefox, and Firefox is about to set. So let me just put the IP address of that server, 192.168.17.128, and I hit enter. When I hit enter, I'm interested in the PHP info page. So I'm going to append the PHP info page here on the IP address, and now you are seeing here that it is revealing so much information. If you were in a penetration testing scenario, you definitely will take screenshots for your report, right? Because this is revealing so much information. You can see the system, which is the Linux Metasploit table 2.6. The build date is January 6, 2010. That is about more than 15 years now. So the server API is CGI fast CGI, and then we also have what stands out to me here is the configuration file, right? And you can see etc php 5 CGI, and CGI stands for Common Gateway Interface. It is a way that PHP runs code on a web server. Look at the CGI as a standard protocol that is used to run scripts, run PHP in order to render web services or web applications, right? And older versions of CGI have been known to be vulnerable. So let's look at it. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to go back to the Metasploit console, get back from this auxiliary scanner, clear my screen, and we want to search if there is any exploit that targets PHP_CGI, right? Because we've seen that the configuration file is PHP CGI. We want to find out if there is any exploit on the Metasploit framework that targets that architecture. So I'm seeing here that there is an exploit multi-HTTP PHP CGI argument or injection. So we are going to use that. It is an excellent exploit. It's been out there for a while, since 2012, but it's been checked, which means it's been tested and proven. Let's use 0, since 0 is the index number. And one thing that stands out is that no payload was configured, but it defaulted to PHP Metapreter reverse TCP. And Metapreter reverse TCP is a type of payload known as a reverse shell payload, and these are very powerful payloads, right? Reverse shell payloads are those payloads that triggers a victim to connect back to the attacker. They would trigger the target machine to launch a reverse connection back to us. Think of it like this: if you wanted to call your friend, normally you pick up your phone, browse their number, and you call them, right? But what if you wanted them to call you? Instead of you calling them, you would find a way to trigger them to call you back. This is what a Metapreter reverse TCP payload would normally do. That is how it works. Now I'm going to look at the options that are there for us to exploit, and we have a listening host set already. When it comes to reverse shells, there must be a listening host and a listening port, right, to handle the incoming connection. If not, the payload is not going to work. So we have a listening host set to our Kali box, and we have a listening port as well. But then the remote host has not been set. That's the only thing that we need to do. I'm going to set our host to 192.168.17128, which is the server that we are targeting. When I set our host, it's good practice to still look at options again, just to make sure that everything is good. And you can see here that everything is good. So we're going to run this. You can do type exploit or type run. They would perform the same thing. Exploit, and we have a Metasploit session that has been created. Whenever you have a Metasploit session, it means your payload has worked, right? It started by starting a reverse handler, what handles the connection on our Kali Linux on port 444. Then it went ahead to send 40,000 bytes of payload to the target server, and that is of course what triggered it to connect back to us with a reverse shell. Now that we are on Metasploit, if you arrive here and you do not know what to do, type help, and Metasploit will tell you basically where you are, the commands that you can run. There are tons of commands, right? Like the core commands from Metasploit, the file system commands, the networking commands, the system commands, and so on and so forth. But I'm interested in the system commands, right? Let me just run sysinfo to make sure that I am on that machine, and you see right then and there that we are on the Metasploit table. I can also run ls to list the files and folders that we have, and you can see all of these things that we can do. Then I want to know which folder I'm currently in. I'm in the var /www folder. Let's say I wanted to go back to the root folder of this machine. All I need to do is change directory to /// again, hit enter, and then do ls, and you can see that we are right in the root directory of this machine. We can now from here cd into the home directory as you see here, or you can cd to the ls, to the etc, in order to view things that are in the etc folder. You know, the etc folder is where you have your shadow file, and the shadow file is the file that contains all the passwords. You have your PSSWD file that contains all the users of a particular system. But now that we are here, I'm going to cd into the home directory, and in the home directory I want to go to the MSF admin, and I can list that, and now you see a few things that we have, a few things that are in the MSF folder, right? I'm going to end here because you can do a lot. You can upload files here, download files from here, create new files here, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to do much in that regard, but if you know all of these commands, you can see you can upload something, you can remove, you can do pwd, you can move, you can create a directory. There is a lot that you can do. You can cut to see the contents of a file, right? There's a lot that you can do while you're here, and I hope this was an interesting video to you. I hope you learned a lot. Practice it, put your hands on the keyboard, and just get good at this thing. I'm going out now, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.